Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for David. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to as soon as I possibly can. So thank you for that. This is for, again, the second of 3 reviews that David wanted me to do. A film called Compliance from 2012. Now, this film was interesting, I'll say that, because it's made by Craig Zobel, who did a film called The Hunt that not everybody liked, but I liked it for what it was. And this film is a pretty simple movie. Pretty much takes place in one location. And it's a frustrating watch. But it's a frustrating watch, not for the film itself, but because it's based on true events, and it seems pretty faithful to that, and that makes it more infuriating. But the film itself, I thought it was well acted. The way it was filmed, don't really have any issues with. Once in a while, not a lot of fancy shots. Once in a while, like near the end, there's a shot where the camera's like on a door, and when the door opens, the camera kind of goes with it, and then when the door closes, it goes along with it, but not a whole lot of fancy shots. The acting, like Ann Dowd, who plays this manager named Sandra, I thought was pretty solid, and at the very least made me aware of something that happened that I never knew about, because I don't really search out the pieces of news. But this is based on, back in the day, I want to say it was 2004, in Mount Washington, Kentucky. So, okay, before I did the movie, what happened? Like I said, 2004, Mount Washington, Kentucky. At a McDonald's, someone had called saying they were the cops, and easily manipulated people to saying, hey, one of your workers stole this person's money, you don't have to detain them, oh, you don't have to strip search them, and it progressed from there. And apparently over 70 cases in a matter of years of prank caller saying they were the cops, and just how people are willing to fold, willing to blindly listen to authority, which, yeah, is infuriating, will make you many times go, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? But as angry as you'll get, that's the sad reality. There are a lot of people that will do that. And so while part of me want to go, oh, this is so unbelievable, this would never happen, it did happen. In fact, 70 times at least it happened. And I can see, yeah, there are people, and I've seen them in real life. Not to this degree, but if it's an authority, they'll listen and do whatever they want. Yes, sir, no, sir. And under duress, their common sense goes out the fucking window. Now, this is based on that, but they changed it to Chitwich, not McDonald's, but a different fast food where Ann Dowd as Sandra, I do like that the way she played the character. She wasn't a one-dimensional villain. She wasn't the typical bitchy boss that was one-sided and like a, well, mustache-twirling villain. For a chunk of the movie, like, you don't like what she's doing, but at the same time, she's being, well, I don't know, are you sure about this? The cop, honey, the cop says they're going to strip search you there, or they're going to take you to jail, but he wants me to strip search you here, and I mean, if I do it here, then it's going to be less comfortable. I mean, it might be more comfortable there, and she'll even do. So, honey, what do you want to do? And she seems sincere about it, like not malicious, not I'm going to get revenge on them. It's just that I was, you may feel earlier, but by the middle, just, this is like a pathetic person that blindly listened to authority and then was busy with her job and just clueless. Clueless person. That did not mean ill will, is not an evil person, but just clueless, dumb person that brings about more of that pathetic nature. At least the viewer will maybe say that about her. I certainly did. But again, she wasn't just the, the typical nasty boss. Bitchy. Until there's one moment where she did act a bit bitchy to the person, and they're like, okay, yeah. Actually, I don't know. I want to get the actress who played the woman in question. Like, okay, the manager, Ann Dowd, and then the worker was Becky, played by Dreama Walker, which I guess she was in the series Gossip Girl, which I didn't see Gossip Girl. She plays the character Becky. And they set it up where, Sandra, the manager, she's going through some stuff where they lost $1,500 worth of food because someone didn't do their job and closed the freezer. And she's not yelling at the workers. She's just like, listen, guys, like, this freezer thing. I know some of you guys, you weren't here the other night, but, we lost $1,500 worth of stuff and some of the supplies we don't have. And even like this guy who delivers more of the goods is almost yelling at her. And she's kind of taking it with like a little bit of a, what more can she say? So I almost kind of felt bad for her. She has a possible fiance and named Van. That's what the guy's named, Van. And like she tries to relate to the workers, but then the workers kind of make fun of her behind her back. But she doesn't really do anything about it. So like she's trying to fit in. And that's the thing, she doesn't seem like a typical bitchy boss. So I like that approach. Just made things a little bit interesting. And it shows like the busy work at the fast food and seeing a bit who these characters are until the manager gets a phone call saying, hey, I'm the cop. I'm a policeman. And we got a customer. Says one of your workers stole money from a customer's purse. And he describes, oh, do you have a worker who's like 19-year-old and blonde? And then she gives the name, what, Betty? And then when she goes to Betty, she's like, well, why is this guy telling me your name? I'm like, you gave her the name. And they do follow this, like, at the end where what she believed happened wasn't really what happened. And so we have people that are not the brightest bulbs, that are sometimes a bit clueless how these things crumble. And even the manager, like, she's having doubts, but quickly crumbles over the pressure of authority. And I said, it's a very simple film. It's a very straightforward film. It's, okay, well, what do you want me to do? And, Then, the cop talks to Betty, the cop talks to the manager, and like Betty crumbles because she thinks she's talking to a cop, and she's like, I didn't do it. Well, he says he's going to take you to jail, but they'll be here soon. But the strip search, like they're going to do it over there, but he thinks maybe I should do it here. And like when the cop is talking to Betty, he's saying it'd be helpful if you be a good girl, be a good actress for Sandra. And how about those clothes? Better take them out to the car. I do like there's people that doubt it, like, what? Even the assistant manager, like, this is a bit weird. And of course, as a viewer, you think, yeah, why don't you stop it? But at the same time, that's the tough thing with the movie. Yes, we the audience going, this is stupid, why you guys keep doing this and stop. But at the same time, this kind of stuff happened in real life multiple times. So you're representing something that really happened because people are gullible, or the gullible stupidity of people who crumble over authority. When you represented that, it's annoying, but at the same time it's being truthful, but at the same time it's not really enjoyable to watch, but at the same time it's showing something that, like I said, I know the story now, and as disbelieving as it is true, because there's actually, obviously they didn't put it in the movie, but there's video footage, because the stuff was recorded. Security cameras. So stuff was recorded, so it's not like it's a he said, she said. This stuff was recorded in terms of the video. Which I guess you do find online. I didn't want to watch that. And this worker, Kevin, is brought in, and the cops tell him to do certain things, and he's being like nervous and awkward, then all of a sudden questions it and leaves and says, listen, that cop is fucked. Okay, I don't know why he wants me to do these things, but that cop is fucked. So I like that there's some people that argue with it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to deal with the cops, I don't want to deal with the police, I don't want to be arrested, I just want to do my job, I don't know what's going on here, there's something screwy going on. Maybe in the back of your head they think there are cops who are not the greatest, or there are cops that, don't respect it, or there are cops who are dicks, but at the same time, you don't want to be in trouble because people don't want to be in trouble. That whole stuff going through your head. And then ultimately, since that guy won't do it, the cop, which of course we find out is not a cop, tells, I guess this is spoilers. Spoilers starting now. And before going, like I said, if this premise sounds interesting to you, to see a bit of the psychology of people, how they fold under pressure, or the idea of pressure, it's a pretty short film. It's well acted. Definitely felt uncomfortable on purpose. There's nothing exploitive in terms of like really blood or anything gratuitous, and like you see a teeny bit of nudity, but it's nothing like a grindhouse movie or anything of that. But it's still just the whole circumstances, and it's based on true events, is a bit unnerving. Like it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable watch. Then or you watch the trailer. If it interests you, give it a look. It's not a film I rewatch again, but I think just because appreciating the acting and now knowing a bit more of the real story, and learning something new every day about what happens in the world, at least that's something that it accomplished, at least for me. But they get more into spoilers. They get the manager's boyfriend van, And Betty's like, well, what's going on here? And this is when things really turn, I think, for the viewer and me on this manager, Sandra. Like, she doesn't get it yet, but then she's like, stop talking. You're going to be fine, okay? I'm like, no, she's not, you dumb fuck. And Van, because he's been drinking and all this stuff, the cop, like, gets him to spank her. I guess perform oral on him. I say I guess because thankfully they don't show a lot of detail on that. And he kind of walks out and he's uncomfortable and he feels guilty. I'm like, well, if you feel guilty, then I guess the idea is that he thinks it's a cop, and the cop says, if you don't do this, then I'm going to run you in and arrest you and stuff. But I would be, you're thinking, well, why would a cop want this? But again, is he thinking, does he think it's a dirty cop? Does he think it's a crooked cop? I don't know the details on that. Like I said, you don't really get... Now that I think about it, what would have been what would have been interesting if they did this like the movie The Tunnel? What I mean by that, if you haven't seen that, is that you have people talk about what they were thinking at the time, explaining their motivations or lack of motivations or whatever the case. Whether you agree or disagree with their thinking, at least you know a bit more of what they were thinking, why they were thinking this way. Maybe that could have... I don't know, that different take on it might have been a bit interesting. But with that said, he leaves. The Sandra's a bit confused. The cop says, okay, well, we need another guy there. Okay, I don't know why you left, but... So they get the custodian, and the custodian is like, no, fuck this. This is stupid. And tells the manager, finally, to the custodian, someone with a brain, listen, what that cop wants me to do to her is awful. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but something stupid is going on. So eventually, the manager finally calls the regional guy, and the regional guy's like, what are you talking about? What cop? I haven't been talking to any cop. That's when they realize something's wrong, something's going on, and they stop everything. The cops come. It was kind of weird because one cop's like asking, when they told you to take your clothes off, why didn't you just say no? As if he was blaming her. Like, it was weird. That cop's like, almost like, why, stupid? I mean, is that what it was trying to go for? Like, cops were like, what you do is stupid. Like, again, the way he said it, when they told you to take your clothes off, why didn't you just say no? Right, I mean, in a way, that's a valid question, but just the way he said it is like, yeah, stupid. Then it talks a bit of the cops looking into the situation, finding the guy who did it. Granted, sadly, this isn't in the movie, but I had to look it up. Apparently the guy in real life was found, but then was let go because the lack of evidence. Which, that's a fucking shame, if that's the case. Again, that's not in the movie, but... pretty much the last bit is Ann Dowd's character being interviewed. And I guess like her boyfriend Van are not together again. They're not together. And you can tell that the interviewer is sitting by her, like by his tone. And about how Sandra is misremembering things. And it's like, well, how come you did this? And well, no, she didn't. She wasn't saying it that way. Yes, like you could clearly see on the video. And also, like, what did you think when you came in and she was naked? Oh, no, no, she always had the apron on. No. No, she is clearly naked. I just show you the video. And then someone goes, don't answer that question. And the guy's like, I can't ask her that question. And I thought Ann Dowd, I thought she did a good job because she had a really tough role to play. A character that was stupid, that was gullible, that was at fault. I mean, she wants to say she's a victim too. You're I would say you're at fault. And but you did, like, so it's a character that I had a bit of sympathy for at the beginning, lose that in the middle to the end, and even at this point, like, she has this kind of look on her face, like she's dawning on her, like she's misremembering things, and like then she's like trying to make small talk, and you tell the guy's like not that interested. He's like, sure. And then her eyes again a little bit wet, but not really. But it's not like a fake, please, I'm so sorry. Like, it's a tough balancing act where you tell she feels bad about what happened, but then like she doesn't. What she should do is just outright say, it's my fault, all that stuff. So like, there's a little bit of sympathy, but the same time was her fault. Like, it's a tough balancing act. At the end of the day, you feel like the interviewer. You're pissed at her, sick at her, and she kind of realizes in a way what she did and didn't do, and I just that's a tough thing to play. And I thought Ann Dowd did a good job with that. So yeah, it's a film that it's not a film that you don't watch every day. It's a film that it's hard to say you recommend it, but it was worth one watch. But it's definitely, again, an interesting take on the psychology of people, and again, to repeat, how gullible people can be and how they fold under pressure by the assumption of authority. And sadly, that is the case. I didn't maybe going, well, that's unbelievable, but it did happen. So you say it's unbelievable, but it's stuff that really did happen. How can you argue that? But also a learning tool of don't be these folks. I did like that one cop, like, in the scenes, like, what the hell was in the chicken for everyone to lose their mind? I thought that was a pretty funny line. It was like some random cop, like, as they're searched, like, wonder what the hell was in the chicken to make everybody lose their mind. I just thought that was pretty funny. But I mean, it was an interesting watch. Not a happy-go-lucky watch, but interesting. So take that for you will. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.